Welcome, Tim Guercio of Nomad Enterprises. How are you this afternoon? So, by all means, please give us an introduction to yourself, and I would love to know exactly what type of fund it is that you put together and the offering that you have for our listeners. A lot of the listeners that will join into this show are curious as to what type of investment opportunities are even out there and possible and available to them. So this is kind of a first thing. You'd be amazed at how many people don't even realize what they could get into. What's even out there. For the people who are out there just now chiming or joining into the channel or joining into the show, this I'm speaking today with Tim Guercio of Nomad Enterprises. He's an emerging fund manager and he is going to tell us all about what he has to offer today. There he is.
There he is. There he is. There he is. Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
Quite all right.
Hopefully this is better. But thanks for the great intro, Chris. Yeah, my name's Tim Guercio. I think the question was what am I working on, or what kind of am I emerging manager? Could you repeat the question one more time?
Sure. Well, I just gave an introduction, of who you are, and this is Nomad Enterprises. That is your company, correct?
Yes.
Great. Well, I know that when we spoke last, we spoke about some of the things that you had coming up, but I didn't really take down any links. I didn't get any of that information to be able to pass out to our listeners. I wanted more this time. I would like to have that conversation. I'd like for you to tell us what it is that you've actually built. What type of offering do you have, and how could someone possibly participate in it? Now, before you go into that, I'm sure everyone would like to know exactly who you are, Tim Guercio. And yes, I know we've covered this before, but these are brand new listeners. It's a brand new episode. So, by all means, Tim, please give yourself the proper introduction that you deserve.
Okay, all right. So, well, Chris, first I got to say thanks for having me on your show and all his listeners. Chris is an awesome guy. I got to meet him about a week ago, and we're in a fund management community together, and just been real joy to all of us. A little bit about me. My name's Tim Guercio. I'm 30 years old here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Born in Mongolia, moved to the States when I was 6. I played soccer all my life and played college and pro, and then also for the Mongolian national team. And while I was doing that, I was making, I guess I would say, just Ronaldo or Messi money. So I knew I would have to do something else to fulfill me financially. So I always knew I wanted to be a business owner. So I started a couple businesses. One of them actually worked, and it's I guess what I would call my rise to fame or whatever, fame and fortune. And it's a really cool company. It's a Christmas lighting company. We do other lighting stuff as well, but we just found out that there's nothing like Christmas. So we do about 500,000 in 2 or 3 months. And over the last 2 years, I've gotten it to be fully automated. So that allowed me the time to figure out how I wanted to scale, if I wanted to scale, or what I wanted to do next. And that's what brought me into the fund world. I figured starting a private equity fund and expanding, doing a rollout in the industry would be the way I would like to go. And so then, yeah, I got into the fund space about 3 months ago. Been an awesome teams working on the private equity fund, but also found out how important about just how funds work and how important capital raising is.
Sure.
So I've been on the journey of learning how to capital raise, and me and my team were.
He dipped. He'll be back. There he is. And he's back, and it's better.
I don't know what's going on. Sorry, audience.
Quite all right. Fortunately,
Yeah.
it's not live.
So, um, yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. Um, yeah. So now I'm going on my journey of capital raising. It's been fun so far. I've been 2 weeks at it, so nothing crazy. But I am a sales professional. Been in a bunch of professional selling programs, and I still continue to go every day now, or not every day, every week, 2 times a week to continue mastering that. And now, currently, I'm raising for a debt fund, and I guess a real estate debt fund, raising about 75 million, and we've been having awesome discussions.
Well, tell us about this debt fund. What's the name of the fund? What's the investment criteria? We'd love to know. This is the meat and potatoes of this type of conversation. This is what our audience gets excited about. It's what can they possibly get into?
Wow. Well, that's awesome. Thanks, Chris. Yeah. So the debt fund, they invest in real estate. So it's called boutique senior living community, and basically it's a company that invests in senior retirement homes and makes it better.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. Makes it better. And what we're doing, yes, raising 75 million, 5 year term, 5 year lockup, 8 to 21% returns, depending on which kind of model you want to, I guess you would like to invest in.
Sure.
And yeah, that's really it. So
Okay.
yeah, we've been having some, yeah. So Brandon, it's a fairly new fund. It's his first fund, so he's got everything set, and I guess I've been really enjoying. Um, so we're general partners of his fund, and
Okay.
I've been enjoying building out some of his sales and marketing systems.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, which fund is that now? Who are you working with? It was getting a little bit sketchy.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. His name is Brandon Schwab, and
Ah,
he's in Black Fund as well, Black Card as well.
okay. Okay. Great. 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 Yeah, I'll check into his stuff too. See what all he's got going on.
How's the how is it?
Which
Yeah, so he's a OG. He's a Black Card OG.
Okay. Okay. Great. Good to know. So, are you two are the team, or do you have other team members that you or are you still looking for team members, or are you completed with your team? How is that coming along for you?
Yeah, we got a team. We got a couple capital raisers. I got a team of two that we're working with, and I'm not sure if he's looking for more, but we've been having some pretty good success, making leaps and bounds over the last couple. I guess, yeah, we grow so much in a day,
Sure. Sure.
so
Sure.
it's been interesting. We've all been growing through it.
So, do you already have your documentation? You've got your placement or your thesis and everything that you could ship out. Do you have a PDF that our viewers could actually take a look at if they were interested in?
Yeah, we got the PDF, we got the deck, we
Cool.
have all the funds already set up. It's a 506C, which means you can basically market it to anybody. So I guess market it publicly.
Sure. Sure. So, what is the
So it's
minimum
been good.
investment requirement?
Minimum. So the way he has his fund set up, it's a little not a little different, but he's got so in his fund he's got three separate funds on what you feel comfortable investing in, and it's almost for
Okay.
like different classes of investors as well.
Sure.
For
Sure.
accredited investors, they have a $25 million fund or $25 million raise that they would like.
Okay.
That's a hundred $100,000 minimum commitment.
Okay.
And then the second fund, it's kind of like for family offices, and that's for 25 million. And I think that one is 250K minimum. And then for the last one, it's for institutional investors, and that one I think it's a $5 million minimum or something like that.
Okay, okay. So there's multiple tiers that someone could get in at, but they are all for accredited investors. There's no non-accreditation that's allowed in that fund. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty sure 506C is
Sure, sure.
just for accredited investors enough.
Okay, so that's what we wanted to know about that fund. Now, you said it's a 5 year lockup on the fund. Now, is there any sort of distribution that happens prior to the 5 year term period, or is it just wait till the 5 year before there's any kind of return?
Yeah, great question. So for the first fund, I think they can choose anywhere from the first, I guess, section or option. You can choose anywhere from monthly to yearly. For the second fund, it's quarterly, and then for the last fund, it's just at the end. You
Sure.
get it at the end as equity
Okay, so each one kind
after
of
the
has a
5 years.
different criteria and a different payout and distribution. That makes sense. I understand. So to get all the details, if there's a viewer out there that is interested in getting into your fund or to joining, partnering with you guys, how would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can reach out to me, I guess, as of right now. My phone number is 704-493-3446. I respond best. Or email is at tim@seniorlivingboutique.com. BSLF.com is the website.
Okay, we'll be sure to post a link down in the
Yeah,
description
if
as
you want
well.
to reach me on socials, Tim Guercio. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Appreciate that.
Certainly, certainly. Yeah, we want to make sure that if there's a listener out there that happens to, hear something that works with them, that chimes with their investment criteria, with what's going to work with the rest of their life, hey, by all means, we want them to have access to that. Now, furthermore, I will, state to anyone who's out there listening, I'm not a member in the fund. I don't get any kind of reimbursement from this or anything else. It is just a interview. I like for you guys to know what the options are and what's available out there to you, as an investor or potential investor. And that's, I feel that it's my duty to bring on these different types of fund managers, give them a moment to speak to you guys about what it is they have to offer, who they are in the fund space. And, it's the opportunity to get in front of a few more people than they normally would if at their steak investors dinner, you know. That's pretty much
Yeah.
it. So I tell you what, as a now I'm gonna cut it right here. But as an emerging fund manager, what are some of the difficulties that you have reached so far? Now this will be a totally separate segment, but what are some of the difficulties that you've come across in these last 3 months since launching? Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I think one thing is difficulty. Yeah, I guess definitely just making sure you're staying compliant and not, well, I guess like you don't fully know all the laws. So it's like trying to one stay, trying to, I guess, do these things, but also staying compliant because it does seem like it's pretty regulated.
Sure.
So just always ask your lawyer or ask your coach or ask your friend if what you're doing is okay. And then just I've been in it for I'm just, so I haven't opened my fund yet, but just it is a long process. Especially the PPM and LPM, it's a long process of doing it with your lawyer.
Certainly.
The community I've been in is just.
We'll find out as soon as he returns. After these messages, he'll be right back. What I say? Whoop, there he is.
Yeah, I'm super sorry about that. Yeah, no, this is probably definitely the worst scenario. Or I guess yeah, no, this is definitely the worst that's ever happened. But sorry about that, Chris.
Quite all right, bud. Quite all right. Hell, I sit in VC calls that I got to jump in and out of all day long. It's no big deal. I schedule this time with you just to make sure
Yeah,
that I've got the
appreciate
time
you.
allotted. But in truth, man, I've got that whole section of time. It's no problem.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you working with me, being
Sure.
patient with me.
Well, that's why we're doing this, man. I like to, it gets a little light on what you're doing. It helps you build a personal brand in the space. And I know that's the biggest thing. See, I teach business acquisition. So, one of the first things that we teach on day one is position yourself as an investor, right? You have to really understand the mindset, of an investor. What am I? How do you portray yourself to the world? And in the end, what it comes down to is you're building a personal professional brand. When somebody looks out at the world at who you are, there's a certain image that needs to be seen and a certain amount of content based on what it is that you do in order to be an industry influencer. So, I mean, that's the whole reason that you get on these calls and that you talk to people and do coaching and everything is to build your own, reputation in the field. And at the same time, your experience. I understand that. I mean, I've sat in the calls with you, and I see the amount of effort that you put in there with new members and stuff like that, to really engage them and to be part of the community. So that's like I said, that's my job is to be able to give that extra light on what you do, and at the same time, it grows content for all of us for what we're doing here in this space. It shows people how one industry kind of can flow right through to the next one, whether it be fund management, whether it be acquisition entrepreneurship, whether it be real estate investing. All of these things kind of work together when it comes to wealth building strategies. Right? There's different strategies you can use for different things, and they all employ various aspects of these types of organizations and entities. So, getting the chance to speak directly with someone who's in the space, you're a fund manager. How many people in real life know a fund manager? Look, growing up, I didn't even know what a fund was unless it was a charity fund at school or something to bring some canned goods or a couple of bucks or whatever it was. I had no idea that you could raise capital and then go purchase businesses, raise capital, go buy a country if you wanted to. I mean, the point is you can do whatever you want to when you pool liquidity together from people who are qualified to make those types of investments. It's a game changer. It's, do you want to work for by the hourly wage for the rest of your life to make someone else very, very wealthy, or would you like to make a few deals, talk to a few folks, sign some contracts, and next thing you know, you're living the life you dreamt of living. To me, it's a no-brainer. I think I'll just wheel and deal a little bit. How about yourself there, Tim?
Yeah.
Well,
Give me one second. It doesn't seem like I'm getting.
and actually,
All
I've got
right.
great
Let
reception
me
on
see
you
if I
right
can.
now. Yeah, you're actually great right there. You're not skipping. You're not nothing.
Trying to find something. Okay. Hopefully this is a little better. Yeah, no, just being in the fun space is definitely interesting. I never knew about funds either. So it's been nice being surrounded by people.
Now you're 30 years old, and you talked about your background. Where you come from, what you were into. You were in soccer. You're a first generation immigrant to the country, and I've got to ask you: have you actually sat back and thought about the impact that this is about to have on your life, both financially, socially, and everything else? Once you go through the fund building process and become that being compared to the soccer player that you transitioned from. Have you thought about how that's going to change your life?
Yeah, Chris, I don't know if it's working, but first of all, I just want to say these are some really awesome questions, and I'll have to book another call with you. But to be honest, like I learned, it's so there's so many shiny objects in life.
Sure.
But I learned this just being in the fun space has been really exciting, and yeah, I think it could change my life, but anything could change your life. So you just have to do the work.
Sure.
So I'm really just in that mode where I'm ready to do the work and let the results speak for itself.
Awesome, Tim. Awesome. Now I know you probably kind of just gave me a little tidbit, but I'm going to ask for one more little nugget of wisdom that you could drop upon anybody out there who's listening that might want to get into this space. To go from being a regular employee or business owner to actually embarking on the fundraising side of building, a fund so that they can go do larger operations. Is there any tidbit of wisdom that you could give?
Man, there's so many. Just self belief, self investment. If this is something you want to do, I definitely say there's steps to it. So if you want to be a part of it, I would say maybe get paid to do it first, work for somebody, or invest in a course like this.
Sure.
Sometimes I see people in the group, they've done nothing in terms of like they haven't built a business yet. So definitely a fund is for, I would say, someone that, uh, I guess, someone that will most likely or could have success in the fund structure is someone that's built a business or had success in real estate and they want to grow it even more.
Sure. Well, I guess it's a good thing he was about done telling us about his little nugget of wisdom. It was just a nugget, then it got cut off. But that's okay. I'm sure he'll return very soon. And speak of the devil, speak of the devil, here he is again. Quite all right, Tim. We
Yeah.
understand our
Well,
connection's spotty all the time. Now, I tell you what, just to go ahead and finalize this because it is the top of the hour. Do you have any closing thoughts or statements that you'd like to leave the audience with?
yeah, Chris, I'll looking forward to booking another call and hopefully provide more value. And I'm sorry about the connection issues. It's super weird. And just keep it up, keep your head up. Chris and I think we're both optimistic guys. Maybe we didn't have we didn't have cards dealt for us, or we didn't have, oh, I forgot that saying, but
Sure.
just whatever your situation is, it can always be better. And it starts with your mind.
That's it. That's it. Well, hey, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for spending your time with us today. In the end, that is the most valuable asset that we possess is our time. Once that's spent, there's never getting any of it back. So, thank you, Tim, for spending that with us and to providing the value that you did for the audience that will be ever growing from this day forward. Have a fantastic rest of your afternoon. As far as booking another appointment, you have the link. Feel free, bud.